Coming up on The Potter's Touch.
I want my people in centers of power that will change the world. You keep changing your clothes. I'm tired of you changing your outfit. I want you to change your world. You look cute, but so what? Change your world. I didn't snatch you out of that sewer you were in just so you could change your clothes. I want you to change your world. I seen your pretty car. I don't care about your car. What are you doing to change your community?
This is the Potter's Touch.
Grace and peace be multiplied from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm excited. I want to get right back into where we left off, dealing with the instinct to shift. If you've ever driven a stick shift, there's nothing worse than somebody shifting at the wrong time or not shifting when it's time to shift. The grinding is terrible. And some of you are experiencing grinding in your life, in your ministry, in your church, maybe even in your marriage. I want to pick up where we left off and go into what was last year's International Pastors and Leadership Conference. Many of you know that we're getting ready for this year. It's time to shift. Are you stuck in first gear? Take a look. Have we developed a culture, a language, a worship, a style of doing things that only we understand? Are we speaking in the languages of this generation? I'm not talking about speaking in tongues. I'm talking about speaking in the language of our generation. Are we speaking not in tongues, not in French? No, I'm not talking about speaking Spanish right now. I'm not talking about speaking Swahili. Are we speaking corporate language? Are we speaking social media language? Are we speaking on Twitter and Facebook? Are we speaking in the language of our generation? Or are we stuck in first gear? Are we busy trying to make people want what we want because we lack it? How long do we have to sit in your service to get the message? How long do we have to wait for the body to quit fondling itself, showing off our gifts and handiworks and our talents and our names and our degrees and our reputations and our denominations and our affiliation? Can we finally stop fondling ourselves and be fruitful and multiply and bring forth fruit? Or are we going to always stay in the same old spot? Yes, I said it, and yes, I meant it. I am tired of us entertaining ourselves with ourselves, by ourselves, singing songs that we have to buy, writing poetry that we have to buy, putting out books that we force on ourselves. When we get out of first gear, somebody outside is going to want to hear you sing. Somebody's going to want to hear your message. Somebody's want to get your word. I want your message in Walmart and Kmart and Kroger's and Big Bear and everywhere they got something going on. The word must go out, not in. You didn't see it, Ezekiel. The water wasn't coming in. The water was going out. Touch your neighbor and say, ouch. There's some things down inside of you that must go out. God did not put all that he put inside of you for you to hold it in and wrestle it down and keep it in your belly. Out of your belly, out of your temple, out of your mouth, out of your church shall flow. Flowing out. The Lord brought me to the temple and the water was flowing out. The water is flowing out. It cannot flow out when your only call is to come. You're trying to get the glory to come into your house, and God is trying to get the glory to go out. I'm going to put this over till I get it down inside of your spirit. You want the glory to come into your house, and God is cracking at the foundation of all your ideas and all your religion and all your reputation and saying, I didn't come to dwell in houses made by men. I want out of your house and out of your temple and out of your belly and out of your mind. I want out. I want out. I want out. Second gear strategy. God finally got the early church out of Jerusalem because he is strategic. The God we serve is strategic. He is a God of strategy, not happenstance, not reaction. God is the God of strategy. He is strategic in all that he does. He is intelligent, he is articulate, he is profound. We have a thinking God, a God that thinks. In the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God, and the Logos was God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. God said, there was nothing that I made without thought. Logos is a thought-through word. All things were made out of the bulk of his wisdom, what Paul calls the manifold wisdoms of God. God is a God of strategy. The early church was stuck in Jerusalem. He had to get them out of first gear. Some of you have been pastoring churches. Some of you are leading auxiliaries. Some of you are the head of departments in churches that are stuck. If you're not seeing change, you are stuck. It's simple. You don't need Greek or Hebrew or anything. If you are not seeing change, you are stuck. Anything living will change. It will grow. It will move. It will go through processes. It will go through reproductive mechanism. Budding, blossom, bring forth fruit. Bud, 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 blossom, bring forth fruit. Unless it's stuck or diseased in some way. And he had to move them out of Jerusalem so he could release his strategy. The strategy is not staying in Jerusalem, having an A and a B selection. The strategy is not staying in Jerusalem until the same people are hearing you say the same thing over and over again until that you know you're stuck when the congregation is finishing your sentences. You're not fresh anymore. You're not new anymore because you were never meant to talk to the same people for 20 years. I was getting ready to teach about the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread, and the little boy, and the Lord made me study it over and over and over and over again. I said, I know this text. I can quote this text. I don't need to go into this anymore. He said, you do not know this text. Finally, after going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, he said, the problem is, when you go out to face the congregation, you think you're feeding the 5,000. And as long as you see your church as the 5,000, you and I cannot talk. I said, if you're giving me the 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and I'm giving it to them, are they not the 5,000? He said, no! Your church is the 12. Your world is the 5,000. You are not to talk to them as if they were the destination. You are to talk to them as if they were the transportation. Go into all the world and preach the gospel. Equip them and arm them and train them and dispatch them like an army. I gave you those people so you could march into the enemy's camp and take back what he stole. Take your city back. Take your community back. Move into politics. Move into business. Go into all the world systems and preach on their networks and on their televisions and on their big screens. Take my word out. Slap somebody in the hollow out. Once he got them out of Jerusalem, he sent them to Ephesus. Ephesus was one of the most commercial cities of its era, with its Byzantine Empire and its focus on worshiping Artemis. Ephesus was an empire. It funded and established power and strength. It was able to galvanize banks and economic systems. And God said, no, Paul, don't go to that city. Don't go to that city. Go to Ephesus. Why Ephesus? Ephesus was strategic. It was strategic. I'm not just talking about the location. I'm talking about the trigger points that change the world. He says, I want the gospel to get in the money. Ephesus set up the first banking systems that were ever known to man. Ephesus had streets, paved streets, and street lights, and all kinds of things that were way ahead of its time. He said, go to Ephesus because I want my glory to go out through the banking systems, through the commerce, through the business, through the industries. I want my people on Wall Street. I want my people in the White House. I want my people in centers of power that will change the world. You keep changing your clothes. I'm tired of you changing your outfit. I want you to change your world. You look cute, but so what? Change your world. I didn't snatch you out of that sewer you were in just so you could change your clothes. I want you to change your world. I seen your pretty car. I don't care about your car. What are you doing to change your community?
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
It's not your fasting that protected you. It's not your prayer life that protected you. It's not the profundity of your speech that protected you. It's not because you're so eloquent and articulate that you've been protected. It is because of your purpose. When you have a divine assignment, God will keep you until you have poured out and say, I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. And now laid up for me the crown of righteousness. Touch three people and say, I'm not finished.
MegaFest 2015 is more than a festival. It's an experience.
This is MegaFest.
From August 19th to the 23rd, MegaFest is taking over Dallas. An extravaganza for the whole family.
And 100% pure fun.
There is something for everyone. Visit mega-fest.com to find event updates and to make reservations. This experience is one you don't want to miss.
Ephesus was the roots from which all economic banking evolved, and God sends the gospel to the economy. Rome was the center of political power. It was an empire that was influencing the entire world. Rome was the America of its age. It had taken over more land and more space, and its form of government was so comprehensive, the dynasty was so profound that there was nothing like it. God said, Paul, I don't care what snake bites you, it will not kill you till you get to Rome. My God, I feel something. I want to tell somebody in this room the reason that that snake didn't kill you, the reason that you got bit and you are still here, the reason that you have been to hell and back and you are still left in this world is because God has a place for you to go and to preach and to touch, and until you finish your purpose, no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. The ship can wreck, the natives can come, the snakes can bite, they can stone you, they can rock you, they can loud you, but as long as there's something in front of you that is greater than what is behind you, it will never kill you because God anointed you to take Rome. It's not your fasting that protected you. It's not your prayer life that protected you. It's not the profundity of your speech that protected you. It's not because you're so eloquent and articulate that you've been protected. It is because of your purpose. When you have a divine assignment, God will keep you until you have poured out and say, I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. And now laid up for me is the crown of righteousness. Touch three people and say, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. That's why the gun didn't kill me. I'm not finished. That's why my haters couldn't destroy me. I'm not finished. That's why the backbiters couldn't annihilate me. I'm not finished. I've lost some friends. I've lost some property. I've lost some this. I've lost some that. But the reason I am still standing is because I am not finished. Tell Rome I'm coming. Tell Ephesus I'm coming. Tell New York I'm coming. Tell Hong Kong I'm coming. Tell London I'm coming. Tell Sydney I'm coming. Tell Lagos I'm coming. Tell Kenya I'm coming. Tell them I am coming. Tell them here I come. The difference between daycare and preschool is not the size of the kids. It's not the height of the desk. It's the purpose of the classroom. And I came to tell you that some of you are running a nursery. You are just babysitting the babies, but you're not changing the babies, and you're spending all of your energy changing diapers, warming bottles, and burping people, that it's time for them to stand up in the full stature of what God has called them to do. You have an agenda, and it is not to be a nursemaid to the timid. Rome must be taken. I said Rome must be taken. Until the kingdoms of this world become the kingdoms of our God and of his Christ, Rome must be taken. We need faith in Rome. We need faith in power, in government, in leadership, in authority. We need some sanctified, blood-washed, Holy Ghost-filled politicians who will cut through the chaos that's going on, not just in America, but all over the world. Our governments are tied up in so much corruption and foolishness and ego that we're grinding gears when we ought to be driving and going forward. God is waiting for you to rise up and take back the authority that is out of control. We're going to take the economy, Ephesus. We're going to take the government, Rome. And then we're going to Greece. And there we're going to take over the language and the arts. We are going to go into Greece because the Greek language was the prevailing, preeminent language over the culture of the world. There are very few countries you can go in now that don't speak English. Even if it's not the first language, it's the second language. That's the way it was with the Greek language at the time. And God said, I want the truth in Greece. Because if I get it in the language, it will go around the world. I want the artists to paint it. I want them to draw it. I want it in the arts, in the dance, in the drama, in the stage. These were the trigger points. I want faith in the money. I want faith in the political power. I want faith in the language and the arts. And he started something that 2,000 years later, hell has not been able to shut down. The thing I love about the little boy who took Samson, blinded Samson by the hand. What I love about the little boy, he didn't have power. Samson had the power. He didn't have the strength. Samson had the strength. But the little boy took Samson and showed him where to put his hands. I don't care how much power you have, if it's not placed right. I don't care how well you teach or preach or how passionate you are about what you do. If you're not in the right place, you can't be effective. Samson might have been a mighty man, but if he put his hands in the wrong place, he wouldn't be as effective as he ought to be. And I'm telling you, you need to shift your priorities and touch the pressure points of your city and bring that thing down. This is not just another conference. This is a conference, our theme is branching out. And this is a conference for people who are tired of same old, who are ready to evolve, who are ready to shift. This is for people who are tired of being busy but not being effective. This is for people who are tired of hearing the grinding of the gear that's stuck in your life. Going to bed tired, getting up tired, going to work tired, teaching tired, preaching tired, frustrated. You are busier than you've ever been, but less effective than you've ever been. We want to show you where to put your hands to bring the thing down. And I put together a carefully crafted group of speakers and leaders who each of them in their own rights have put their hands on something and brought it down, because success is a science. Success is a science. It is not an art. Success is a science. If you put it in the right place, you will get the right results. God is not a respecter of persons. He is not a respecter of persons. He is a respecter of principles. Cain, why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest not well, will I not receive you? If you do what Abel did, you can get what Abel got. And I brought some Abels around this table this week that are going to talk to you about what they did and what it cost them and what it meant for them to be who they are, so that when you go back home, you can put your hands on the right spot so that you can be the most effective and bring the whole thing. We're challenging you in some simple ways. I have this feeling in my spirit that something is about to break. Hallelujah. Yes, sir. You heard me. Something is about to break. Let me try to tell you all, I have this feeling in my spirit that something is about to break. In the midst of struggles and stress and anxiety and pressure, I have this feeling that something is about to break. This is no time to quit. This is no time to faint. This is no time to be weary and well-doing. No, absolutely not. I will not break. I will not bow, because something is about to break, and when it breaks loose, it will not be able to be withheld. It cannot be a secret. It cannot be contained. It's going to move block and cinder block and walls and building, and all of a sudden, when it first hits, it's going to be ankle deep. But don't despise the day of small beginnings, because if you walk out a little bit further, oh my God, I got to watch myself. I almost feel like preaching in here now. Touch three people and say, something is about to break. Something is about to break. And tell the devil, I didn't go through all the hell I went through to die where I am. I am going to see these waters break out. They're going to break till they're the flow. Touch somebody and say, flow. Until there's waters to swim in, waters to flow in, waters to move in, until there is life in my city. The Bible said the waters got so big that there was life in the waters. I speak life into your city. I speak life into your ministry. I speak life into your church. Slap your neighbor and say, live. There is a flow. 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 Touch somebody around you and say, get in the flow. Get in the flow. Get in the flow. Stop fighting it. Stop wrestling with it, get in the flow. Stop debating about it, get in the flow. Stop belly aching about what you don't have, get in the flow. Stop talking about who's talking about you, get in the flow. Stop talking about who left your church, get in the flow. Stop talking about who betrayed you, get in the flow. Don't worry about Judas, get in the flow. Don't worry about the liars, get in the flow. God brought you down here so he could get you wet again, get you growing again, get you thinking again, get you building again, get you flowing again. Out of your belly shall flow, and there will be life in your city, life in your church, life in your family, life in your ministry. Tell your neighbor, get in the flow. Somebody take 5 minutes and give God a crazy praise in this place. I said, open your mouth and give him a praise. Did you hear me? Open your mouth and give God. I've got to stop there, but I am excited. Anytime I get a chance to pour into people who pour into people, I get double for my trouble. Pouring into people who pour into people is the greatest use of my time. That's why I want you to experience what I'm preparing for you at this year's Pastors and Leadership Conference. It's more than a message. This is a sign from God that for you, it's time to shift. Come on and let me get you in gear. Before I die in a cage, I want to run in the wild.
To understand what it is to be a pastor.
They can hear the life-changing message that and the education.
You're frustrated about something that's just an incubator to take you to the next dimension.
Now we're going to grow and go to global missions. No more limits, no more boundaries.
To register for this international gathering, visit pastorsandleaders.org or call 1-800-BISHOP2.
Religion always gazes at where it last saw God, but relationship moves beyond history to destiny.
Bringing resurrection power to your stagnant situation. Purpose in motion.
God only asks you to pray to bring you into agreement. He doesn't ask you to pray so that he can get information. What do you know that heaven is unaware of?
For your gift of any size, you will receive the God Has Moved On CD from the Purpose in Motion series. And for your gift of $75 or more, you will receive the Purpose in Motion 3 DVD set.
It's not just that you have a testimony, you are a testimony. Anybody been through what you've been through and you still alive to tell it?
However, for your gift of $160 or more, you'll receive the Purpose in Motion series on DVD, large print Bible, and an everyday reminder of God's faithfulness. It's time to move forward. Put your purpose in motion.
There's life coming back. There's life coming back. There's life coming back. There's life coming back. Away with religion and routine and form and fashion and ceremony. Water is flowing. Life in my church. Life in my city. Life in my finance. Life in my business. Life in my company. Life in my marriage. Life in my house. Life in my body.